Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Friday the 3rd of March 2023. Today's Millwall news, we have this from the londonnewsonline.co.uk. McNamara pumped for another packed den. Millwall set for 18k plus crowd for Norwich City clash. Danny McNamara can't wait to be back at a packed den tomorrow, with Millwall expecting another nigh-on sellout for the visit of Norwich City. Well, just before recording this video, I had a little look, and there was one seat in the Barry Kitchener stand at West Upper Box 6, and I didn't count them all. I probably could have done it, wouldn't have taken that long. I think there was less than between 100 and 200 seats in the Coldblow Lane end, and that was it. That was it. So I would imagine by the time it kicks off, it will sell out. The Lions had 18,524 in attendance for the 1-1 draw against Sunderland at the start of February, and they are once again set for a game in excess of 18,000 for the fixture against the Canaries. I don't know how many fans Norwich are bringing. I'll be surprised if it's as many as Sunderland. There's a big downer at the club. They thought they were going to win the league this year, and they're struggling to get in the playoffs. So, yeah, big downer. Millwall's biggest turnout out their home, which they moved to in 1993, was 20,093 against Arsenal on January 3rd, 1994. But both that match and also the 18,573 for another derby, this time with Chelsea as the opposition in January 1995, will both be cup competitions. Indeed, in that 20,093 against Arsenal will never be repeated, because since that game, obviously after the antics against Birmingham, because Stern John scored that goal and he upset us, they decided to take a row or two of the seats out. So the best we can get, I think, is probably about, well, if they let us sell the entire away end, then they could be bothered to take the plastic awnings down and then pay to have the Metropolitan Police and horses to defend the away end. I mean, they probably get about 19, but that's a lot. The recent Sunderland game is their largest ever league attendance at the stadium. Norwich City still in the hunt for a top 6 finish. Have sold both tiers of the away end. Oh, so there you go. So they have sold both tiers, but I think that, what do you call that stuff? This, I don't know what you call banner. You know that they got banners there, so they got banners in the away end to stop them moving around in the lower tiers, and they've got banners at the front to stop them coming forward, and they've got banners down both sides. So I imagine it's the whole of the upper tier and then just the middle of the lower. Millwall would explore splitting that stand so home fans can also sit there, like they did for the 3-0 win over Peterborough United on the final day of last season for their remaining matches, but that depends on the away team not bringing significant backing. So what's teams like Huddersfield, but then the only other fixture the Lions have in SC16 against a promotion competitor is Blackburn Rovers on May the 8th, the final action of the regulation campaign. We know it's nearly going to be a sellout, so it would be brilliant to have the support, said McNamara. My message is for them to come all the way down and enjoy it. They give us the 12th man. Millwall edged another step closer to reaching the championship playoffs with a 2-2 draw at Luton Town on Tuesday. Right back McNamara, an academy product who supports the club, was just 3 years old when they last made the top 6 in England's second tier. Millwall drew 1-1 at home to Birmingham City before losing 1-0 at St Andrews. No, it was the other way around, wasn't it? It was the other way around, because we played in that green kit. Remember that green kit we had? Ronnie Ball scored, I believe, and that was at St Andrews. And just to let you know, in terms of playoffs in the second tier, Mill have quite had quite a few games. Derby, Brighton, Birmingham, and then maybe one more, I don't think so. And we have lost all of those games except that 1-1 draw at Birmingham. So there you go. That is the only time we've not lost in a playoff at this level. But there is no danger of any Millwall squad talking bullishly about their prospects of ending a 21-year wait for another opportunity to try and reach the top flight in a knockout section of the competition. McNamara was left with mixed emotions after leaving Kenilworth Road with a draw. He combined down the right for Tom Bradshaw to stick away George Honeyman's cross and made it 2-0 early in the second period. It's a good point, but bittersweet really, because we were 2-0 up, he said. First half, we weren't good enough on the ball. We did much better in the second half. We weren't good on the ball, and we were good on the ball and more composed. As the gaffer said at half time, just make the extra pass and we'll be out. And that's what we did, and it's where our goal come from. G did really well to keep the ball in. He stayed alive and put in a great ball for Bradders to finish. Bradshaw and Zion are having a good little battle to finish the club's top scorer. But we don't mind that. Get as many goals as they can. I know it helps us out. After the second goal, we sat back too much. We got to get a little bit tighter for Luke Berry's equaliser. That might come from tiredness. We played a lot of games. Well, I said in post-match, like George Evans was there. He's fresh. He wasn't tired. But I think Rowett's come and told him, don't give any stupid free kicks away, because he does it all the time. So he's probably told him not to do that. So he's thought, okay, hands off. And he was a little too hands off. But that's just an idea I have. Now moving on to ticket information, because obviously the game is a sellout, and just like the Sunderland game, there are changes at the Den. So Mill take on Norwich. The Lions have issued the following ticket and advice to supporters attending SE16 this weekend to ensure that everyone is aware of which areas will house certain inquiries, and to also ensure that all fans are inside the stadium for kickoff. Yeah, don't miss the kickoff because we've been scoring early, haven't we? Main ticket office. So, in the main ticket office, windows 1 to 10 will be Norwich City ticket collections only. Window number 11 will general inquiries only. So if you've got, I think that's not a military question. It's not like about army generals. It's not that. Tickets for collection window closed. The whole thing will be collection windows. So the one for collection is going to be closed. For the Cold Blown Lane ticket office, Reading collections. If you've got a ticket for Reading away, if you want the lucky ones are going. Swansea City sales and collections. Yeah, that is on next Tuesday. Not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday week. You know what I mean? Not this Tuesday coming up, but the week after on the 14th. Huddersfield Town sales and collections. And season tickets. To collect them or to hand your money over? Cash, straight cash. Ooh. The ticket office will be open from 10 a.m. on Saturday morning. Supporters are strongly advised to arrive early, collect their ticket, and prevent lengthy queues before kickoff. Alternatively, the ticket office will remain open until 4 p.m. on Friday afternoon. Well, that's gone now. So, see, this was put up early in the day. Now, moving on to some stories about Gary Rowett, obviously pre-match press conference and stuff. So he's been talking about some things, and we're gonna move on to that now. And so this is from LondonNewsOnline.co.uk, South London Press's online website. Millwall boss on Way has no worries about his squad's energy levels ahead of Norwich's Den visit. Millwall manager Gary Rowett says he has no worries about his players not being banged at tomorrow's Championship home game against Norwich City. A crowd of more than 18,000 is expected at the Den, with the visitors selling both tiers of the away end. Rowett is hoping that George Saville is fit for selection after the experienced midfielder missed Tuesday's 2-2 draw against Luton Town with tight calves. Joint top scorer Tom Bradshaw and James Shackleton were also withdrawn in the closing stages at Kenilworth Road with muscle strain. Sentence is a bit weird. It makes it sound like Jamie Shackleton's also joint top scorer. Or is it just me? The Lions, fifth in the table, are already without Billy Mitchell and Mason Bennett, ruled out of ankle injuries. Millwall are unbeaten in their last 11 league matches in S16, winning 6 and drawing 5 of them. When I get to Saturday, I won't be too concerned about the players' energy. It's a home game for us against a good team, Rowett told the South London Press. Our fans and the players will always get the energy level to the right place. But at this stage of the season, it's normal to manage one or two players. Part of the decision-making process when you pick the team is that you've got to think about some of the next games and the next periods as well. Which other players are out and where we are in the light of squad. Do we take risks? You have to throw all of those things into the melting pot and try your best to make reasonably good decisions. Sab was just really tight and fatigued after the games. There's no recovery time at the moment. I didn't want to risk losing him or, more importantly, get him going out there and not be able to perform to the level that he needs and the team needs. It was a bit like Bradders a couple of weeks before that. I made a view that it was best to leave him out and hold fire. Hopefully, then he's okay for the weekend. It's what we would be working towards. I've spoken to lots of other managers after games in the past few weeks, and everyone's the same. They've got players on the edge, one's on the borderline of getting injured, and players who are trying to get through things. Some squads are bigger and can cope with it more than a smaller squad. We run a smaller squad, that's just a reality. You end up being extended a little bit more. We're in an unusual period because of games being cancelled, of something like 7 games in 3.5 weeks, and that's the second period we've had like that. I know people out think players can just go and go and go, but there are not many sports where you have to perform with such intensity in such a short space of time. You've got to do that every 2 to 3 days. It's a challenge we have to navigate. It's part and parcel of what we do. Indeed. Now, moving on to more from Gary Rowett. From the Southwarknews.co.uk, Mill manager cites strong mentality and togetherness as key reasons for impressive run. The Lions have lost just 3 of their 14 championship games since returning from the World Cup break. Gary Rowett highlighted Mill's mentality as one of the main reasons for their impressive run, has seen them collect 12 points from their 7 games in February. The Lions beat QPR, Sheffield United and Stoke City whilst drawing to Sunderland, Burnley and Luton Town. Their only defeat came away to Coventry City on Valentine's Day, meaning that they have kept their place in the top 6 heading into tomorrow's match against Norwich City. There seems to be a significant difference compared to recent seasons where Rowett's men have often started poorly before improving later on in the campaign, only to narrowly miss out on the playoffs in the final weeks. This season, they are in the midst of a fierce battle for a place in the top 6, with many bookies listing them as short as half, 1 to 2, to achieve their goal. Rowett has noticed a difference in his side's attitude as well, explaining that their sheer desire to win games rather than settling for a point will guide them up the league table. I think we've tried to attack every game, but whether we've done that or not is a different matter, he said after Tuesday's game against Luton. It could have been very easy today. I thought about starting a back 5, matching the formation, and making it easier physically to not have players playing in between positions, where now we've got to turn and chase 40 yards. We decided to do the same as we've been doing at 4-2-3-1. It worked for us so far. We got into some good positions. Some games, if you don't pass it, you don't get your wingers and forward players as active as you'd like. Sometimes if you don't pass it and you drop too deep, your striker becomes isolated, which happens too many times tonight. Now that's been our attitude, our mentality is that we go to try to places like this and pick a side that we can think win the game, not just go and take a point. It's not always going to work at the moment. There's been a difference in our mentality. We've also got some real togetherness in there. We're all disappointed, but we'll move forward and see if we can win Saturday. There's Gary out there. Now, speaking of the Luton game, that we've just come up. Obviously, that was supposed to be played before Christmas, and it was set to be, I think, the last game. I think it was like our 23rd game, so it would have meant we would have played every team in the league at least once up to that point. Got delayed. Now, so here we go. we have to play them again at the Den in a short space of time, in a month, and that game will also be on television because Sky Sports, for some reason, I don't know why, they love putting Millwall, Luton on television. So there you go. Millwall's home match against Luton Town to be televised after thrilling clash at Canal Road. I guess if you're that was that thrilling? I don't know. Obviously, I'm a Millwall fan, so I can't really look at it as a neutral. But sometimes when I'm watching football games, and one team goes 2-0 up, I switch off because I'm thinking, well, no point watching this. The Hatters' trip to the Den next month could play a crucial part in this season's playoff race, which is also another reason why it's on television. Luton Town's trip to the Den on Good Friday, 7th of April. So this is the Good Friday game on the 7th of April in selected Sky Sports coverage. The decision comes just 3 days after their 2-2 draw at Canal Road, which was also shown live on Sky. Goals from Zion Fleming and Tom Bradshaw put Millwall in command and position. Yeah, I don't need to know all that stuff. We've just seen it. Their next clash, which takes place in 5 weeks' time, has been brought forward to a 12:30 p.m. kickoff, although the date will stay the same. You can see the latest round of televised EFL selections here. EFL.com. We're not special though, because obviously it's a bank holiday. Sky have picked about. They've done this quite recently now, because obviously they've had to split Premier League contract and they have to share it now. So you'd have, I think it was Amazon who had all the boxing games, or something like that. They had like 4 games of boxing, or some kind of thing. So what Sky have responded by putting the EFL games bank holiday. So on Good Friday they've got us, and there's like 3 or 4 other games on. Because obviously it's outside of the blackout, which is the 3 to 5 on a Saturday afternoon. Can't put any live games on during that time. But on the bank holiday, you have the full selection of fixtures. Most teams are set to play at the same times, so then they can put all the games on that they want. But they've decided to move our game forward 12:30. So there you go. Okay, now moving on to previewing and predicting tomorrow's game at Norwich City. Now Norwich City, quite a big name in football history, sort of. But I think that's because they're probably would you say they're probably the most successful teams playing yellow in this country? Are there any others? Oxford United, but they fell off, didn't they? I can't think of any. But in terms of having their home kit as yellow, so that's probably something to do with it, as well as their large catchment area of more or less the whole of Norfolk. And here we go. So this is the historical record over time of the fixture of Millwall at home against Norwich City. And you can see the first one here in Division 3 South, 1920, and a win. And there were many wins and a few draws until we actually finally lost Norwich City in 1949. So obviously after the war. So whatever happened to Millwall during that war, and whatever happened to Norwich, something happened. So 1949, we lose twice in a row, and then we draw and we win. But later on in the 50s, not that far later on, about 4 years later, we lose again. 1953, lose. 1954, lose. 3-2, 3-1. But then again, we start drawing and winning. Get a 5-1 in 1956. You game with a lot of goals over the years. 1926, 6-1, 1939, 6-0. We sometimes do smash them, and when they have a habit of scoring 3 goals against us when they beat us. So from 1954 all the way to 1988, the only time they beat us at the Den was in the League Cup game in 1964. So this is a very streaky fixture. And also weirdly, when Millwall were probably at their zenith, at their peak, at the highest they've ever been, when they had the 2 seasons in the top league in the division, we lose to Norwich as well. We lose in the Simwood Cup in 1988, lose 3-2. 1989 in the top league, we lose 3-2, and again the next year, we lose 1-0. And since then, it's been a bit patchy, but more wins than losses, to be honest with you, since the 2000s. Norwich were one of the teams that were in the first season of the Premier League, and they've been up and down quite a few times since. So since those games in the top division, we lost in 2003 2-0. We lost in 2015 4-1, but we got them back in 2017, winning 4-0. But then 2019 we lose 3-1, and the last time that was a draw 0-0. So quite a mixed bag of results, and is a streaky fixture generally going back, but at the moment we're not in a streak. We've got the last 3 results have been a win, a loss, and a draw. So it's all up in the air. And before that as well, so last result was draw, then a loss, then a win. Before that, a loss, a draw, and a win. So actually, if you look back beyond that as well, a win, a draw, and a loss. So the last 3 have been one of each, and then before that, the 3 before that have been one of each, and the 3 before that have been one of each. So it's literally was a streaky fixture that's now become randomly streaky, which is weird in itself. So going on that logic, although this is out of order, it literally could be anything. The only thing you would say that it wouldn't be another draw, because in these last 3 games we've had a WLD, LDW, WDL. Would it be another draw in a row? I don't know. Yeah, it might be. Who knows? But so moving on. So here we go. Enough of the history. Let's look at the here and now. Match facts. Norwich have kept a clean sheet in the last 3 matches against Millwall in all competitions. Millwall have seen under 2.5 goals in their last 3 matches against Norwich in all competitions. Norwich are undefeated in their last 6 matches against Millwall in all competitions. That obviously includes away games, which I didn't show you. Obviously, our record could show you that. Our record Norwich is absolutely fucking horrendous. Here you go. Look at this. So we haven't won away at Norwich since 1968. And plenty of defeats, heavy ones as well. 4-3, 6-1, 3-1, 3-1, 4-1, 6-1. So yeah, not a good day out to go to Norwich. Well, I like Norwich. The city is just going to watch Millwall was not fun. So let's do this. Great, that's fantastic. Okay. Let's try refreshing it, see if it fixes itself. Oh, what is wrong with this website? It does do that from time to time. So obviously, here we go. Last 6 games at the Den, 2 wins, 2 draws, 2 defeats. Literally as what I just said. It's a mixed bag. 9 goals for us, 9 goals for them. 8 yellow cards for us, 5 yellow cards. we've kept 2 clean sheets. They've only kept 1, and when they kept a clean sheet, it was a 0-0 draw. Okay. Now, here we are on the table. Not much to go on. We've both got 15 wins. Both played 34 games. Both got 15 wins. We've got 9 draws. They've got 7. They've scored 48. We've scored 43. We've conceded 35. They've conceded 37. If we go on the current form, what does that tell us? Not much. Still pretty even. We've got 3-2-1. They've got 3-1-2. So let's have a look. What were those defeats to? They lost away at Bristol City. They lost at home to Burnley. And our defeat was obviously away at Coventry. And the goals for and the goals against just 1. Actually, they scored 1 less goal than us, but conceded 1 less as well. We go back to the standings. Obviously, we're at home. We're the 6th best home team in the league. It must have fell off a bit because obviously we've had away games. But yeah, we've only lost two times at home so far this season. In terms of, we've only conceded 12 goals as well, which I believe so far is the best in the league. But we only played 16 home games, and most other teams have played 18, as of Norwich, which you can see there. If we go to away games though, and look at Norwich, how good are they away from home? So in 16 away games, they've scored 21 goals, conceded 16. They have lost 6, won 7, and only drawn 3. They don't like drawing away games. It's not a thing that they do. But their last time out was a draw. They drew 0-0 at Wigan. So let's get into it. There's Millwall's home. There's Norwich's away. So Norwich, last 2 games they've failed to score. Last 2 away games they've failed to score. But before that they were scoring for fun. 4-0 at Preston, 4-2 at Coventry. Now why might that be? I've got an idea. Not too sure. Just an idea because I literally just have no idea. But both of those games are in January. 14th of January, 21st of January. Obviously Norwich have just come down from the Premier League. I think maybe their players were, obviously the fans are not happy. I don't think many of the players are happy. They thought they were going to stroll the league. And I imagine there's a few of them thinking, what am I doing, still doing in this league? I could be here next year as well. Get me the fuck out of it. I think they may have turned on the jets to get a few admirers glancing at them. Obviously, once the transfer window's clamped shut and they're stuck at Norwich, maybe they're not too happy about that. That might be a possibility, but I don't know. Looking at the left-hand side and seeing Millwall, see the last 2 games, or the last 3 home games have been against teams at the top of the table, so we haven't kept clean sheets against them. It suggests that we won't keep a clean sheet tomorrow. So can we outscore Norwich? Can we? I don't know. Last kept clean sheet at home we kept was against Rotherham. Before that is Bristol City. And we only failed to score against Bristol City and Sheffield United in the cup. But we scored 3 against Sheffield United, 1 against Sunderland, 1 against Burnley. Here's characteristics and weaknesses and the strengths. So obviously Norwich have got a few weaknesses there. Stopping opponents from creating chances and avoiding individual errors, very weak. Okay. Match forecast, Millwall will create many scoring chances. I certainly do hope so. Norwich will score as a result of individual skill, very low. Millwall will dominate the air. Millwall will control the game in the opposition's half, and Norwich will dominate possession. Okay. So, let's move on to this now and see the prediction. I know, before we get into that, actually. So we're getting to the stage of the season now where there's a natural half of the away games have been played, so we can see. So this is Norwich's away game so far this season. And there is a pattern that has emerging. So against the teams at the top of the table, they're not doing too well. They go to Luton, they lose 2-1. They go to Burnley and lose 1-0. They go to Sheffield United and draw 2-2. They go to Watford and lose 2-1. And they do go to Sunderland and win 1-0. But all of their wins, you could say, away from home have been against teams more or less at the lower end of the table. Your Rotherhams, your Swanseas, your Blackpools, your Birminghams. So, interesting stuff. They failed to score at 1, 2, 3, 4. They failed to score in 4 of their away games, and 2 of them were the last 2 away. But they've only conceded as many as 2 goals, and they can keep a clean sheet away from home. Kept a clean sheet against Sunderland, against Blackpool, against Swansea, against Preston, and against Wigan, even though it was a 0-0 draw. So they are capable of keeping the score down. So let's get back into the prediction now from WhoScored.com. Both teams got plenty of injured players. Millwall were on course for a priceless away victory against fellow player hopefuls Luton on Tuesday night, for a late Luke Berry goal levelled the scoreline. The Lions are unbeaten in 4 league games and sit 5th in the table, heading into game week 35. Norwich continue to gather momentum in their playoff with the Canaries heading to South London off the back of a 2-0 win against Cardiff. Obviously that was at home. David Wagner's side has claimed 10 points from their last 4 league outings and will head into this clash just 2 points off a playoff place. Indeed, and if they win this game, they'll overtake us. But WhoScored.com say it's going to be Millwall 1, Norwich 1. Not a bad prediction. But the motivation, you would say, is on Norwich to try and win this game. A lot of their problems this season can be absolved, can be rectified for one thing, and that's just to win this game. But can they do it? Now, let's move on to this from SkySports.com. This is David Prime here, predictions. What does he have to say? Does he give us a chance? Does he think we're going to lose? Millwall versus Norwich, Saturday 3 PM. What a frustrating night that was for Millwall. They were 2-0 up at one of their playoff rivals in Luton, but they couldn't hold on. It would have been such a big win, but before the game, Gary Rowett probably would have taken the point. Norwich are lurking over their shoulders. They have impressive spells under David Wagner. I feel like they're going to come up a little short at then. Now, here's the thing. We're on a streak, and one thing about streaks is that they do need to end. And here's the thing. This isn't going to kill our season if we lose to Norwich. We're certainly not going to play for the draw, not with full house and the crowd behind us. Could that lead us coming unstuck, getting caught in a break? I don't know. If you see yesterday's video, I showed you the pictures from training. There's a fair few players back from injury, but we are missing one of our best players. That's Billy Mitchell, and that was evident on Luton Town game. There was no one in the middle to put their foot on the ball and just pass it around. I've got a horrible feeling that we're going to lose this game, and I don't think that's going to be a bad thing because plenty of the games coming up are very winnable, and it would be the kind of thing that would happen. This league is full of drama, and situations, and it would be a thing that team below us would win against us and go above us, and then we've got to go again, build ourselves back up. Starting at Reading away was going to be a massive away following there, and then Swansea and Huddersfield, which are very winnable games, and then we go into the international break, and yeah, but I think I just got a sneaky feeling that we're going to lose this game. Everyone's too optimistic, you know what I mean? It's like everyone, like, it doesn't get given to you. You have to earn it. And everyone's like, oh, aren't we great? And don't we smell so nice? They like smell. They love the smell of their own shit. Be humble, stay humble, as Kendrick Lamar say. Yeah. So I think I don't think we're gonna get beaten, but I'm gonna go for a crazy scoreline. Probably not gonna believe this. Probably gonna go for Millwall 2, Norwich 3. 5-goal game. There are goals in this fixture, as we've seen over the years. Has there ever been 3-2? They do. Yeah, that is a fixture that's come up quite often. 3-2 loss. 53. It's happened more than it should have done. Here, two years in a row. That's 3. A 3-1 there as well. So another 3-1. So conceding 3 goals to them while scoring 2 is a situation that does occur. And obviously the last time we lost 3-1. So I'm going to go Mill 2, Norwich 3. I think it's going to be an heroic defeat. It's not going to be it's not going to be a bad defeat. You know what I mean? No, me neither. There you go. And on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.